This is Leah Bernardo, and welcome to the premiere episode of Conscious Business. With me today is my dear friend, Anabel Dumlao from Axelet. Hi.
Hello. So nice to be with you today.
You know, I thought we could start this exactly where we started.
Okay.
I think it's a good story to tell how this partnership came about, why we're doing it, and I'd love for you to tell people watching our story.
Okay. Well, it was quite a long, winding road to this day, but it's 2 years in the making, I believe. 2 years.
Exactly.
And we just casually met through a common friend, very close to each of our hearts. And we started connecting the dots, you know, this thing about the 6 degrees of separation that in the Philippines narrows down to 2.5. Okay. So we found common, let's say, connections between you and me. And we started asking each other, so what do you do for a living, right? Like, what's your day job like? And you started explaining to me how you were into the self-mastery, helping individuals to become their true selves and really getting the most out of their potential. And I go, wow, that sounds so interesting, because I'm in the business of helping leaders become that, actually, and leadership teams, right, in order for them to be more successful in delivering the business results that they are mandated.
I remember you told me we call it conscious business.
Exactly.
And my eyes went ding, ding, ding.
And you were about self-love, right? And I go, wow, how I wish we could be bold enough and courageous enough to talk about love in the workplace.
Why is it so taboo?
I really think people are simply uncomfortable to talk about those things. I think we tell ourselves stories about... I'll tell you my story of why I think love is taboo in the workplace.
I would love to hear that.
I actually wrote my reflection on a newsletter that I have on LinkedIn. It's called Sparking Joy at Work.
Sparking Joy on LinkedIn, folks. Look for it. Anabel Dumlao.
And it was like thinking out loud in a way, but writing it down. And my story was that love belonged at home, and at work it was about achieving, but in a very masculine way. And if I may use that word. And I'm not talking about men or women, because I know masculine women and I know feminine men. Okay? It's not about that, but it's about the energy.
It's characteristics.
It's like a persona.
Yes, that's a great way to say it, persona.
I believe that at work I had to be in a certain way.
Yes.
I've been brought up in a big consulting firm after another. And I had this story that I had to be firm. I had to know it all as a consultant.
Yes.
I had to...
Especially as a consultant.
Yes. I was brought up being asked, are you already this, you know, like an aspirational position of power? Are you a partner?
It's like a measure of your worth as a human being, right?
And so that story kind of marked how I showed up as a consultant. And it worked for several years to be assertive in a way. However, it backfired when the pattern no longer served me. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Meaning assertiveness at some point became aggressive.
Aggressiveness, yes.
Right?
And that's what many people think leaders ought to be.
So that's what I thought. I was doing a very good job, because I heard feedback that, wow, you're so passionate. And at the same time, I heard people giving me feedback, especially when I became a leader, you're overdoing it.
In what sense?
That's what I became curious about. Like, what does this mean? The thing is, at first, it was like, when I heard how passionate you are, it connected with me, right? I go, oh yes, I am passionate about my work. I would love to bring this passion to the workplace. But then when I heard you're overdoing it, you're overstepping, right? And I noticed the pattern that it came normally from men. I would say, I don't like what I'm hearing. You're wrong, okay? You are wrong. So at that point, I realized when I used those words, you are wrong, I was no longer being a good leader, nor a good consultant, nor being the
person you want to
the best.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or even the person you are.
That's not who I am.
Exactly.
Right? I was adopting, again, to use the word persona, adopting a persona.
What you thought a leader ought to be.
Exactly.
And how professionalism sometimes, Anabel, is really defined as the absence of emotion.
Sometimes it is. Like, keep your emotions at,
Leave
in
your
check.
emotions at home. When the people that run corporations are human beings who come with emotions.
As if you can switch them off.
Exactly.
Like, you don't switch off emotions.
You don't switch off your humanity just because you're working.
So that's, some people may call it imposter syndrome. Some people people may call it different names. It goes by different names. However, for me, it was like, am I being me? Or am I being who I think people expect me to be?
Okay, say that again, because we need to capture.
So for me, I think the quid, right, of the question is, am I really being me? Or am I being who I think people want me to be?
And conscious business would be, or conscious leadership would be,
right, the realization of who you truly are and bring that fully and skillfully to the workplace. So at Excellent, we express our purpose as helping individuals, organizations, and teams to connect to their true selves and express it skillfully.
One quick last question. How does that translate to business results?
From our point of view, business results are the outcome of proceeding in a way that honors who you are and brings the best of everybody in a collective effort to bring about those results.
Beautiful definition. Thank you for getting us on this page, because folks, that's exactly what this podcast or this MediaCast is all about. This MediaCast is all about conscious business and conscious leadership. And if you like what you heard, join us for more. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Anabel.
Thank you, Leah.